Don't mess with Sergeant Slaughter. He's as strong as they come.
Meet Sergeant Slaughter and his Triple T.
Hey, look out, Cobra.
I'm still a little under the weather, dealing with the T virus, but I wanted to look at the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover Sergeant Kup Triple T. If you're new to the channel, I want to thank you for stopping in. Maybe consider hitting the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And let's get into it. Here is the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover that a lot of people like to tell me that I made up, and that the leak that I put out a year ago was fake. But I'm not going to harp on that. Whatever, here it is. So this is the Sergeant Kup Triple T Transformers G.I. Joe crossover. I gotta say, I like these boxes. I like the way that they designed these. They're just cool. I picked up every release of the Transformer Joe crossovers, even though a certain shitbag YouTuber likes to say that I've never put my hands on one. I do have them all.
Chad, how insensitive of you.
And this vehicle comes with two figures, so you've got Leatherneck and Sergeant Slaughter, and they put little shine on here to make it seem like, you know, there's plastic blisters there, like a see-through bubble, but there's not. So yeah, this is the front of the box. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this now because we're gonna open it. I did get two of these. I was thinking about doing one of them as a giveaway, so I'm gonna open the one where the box is a little beat up. So that's the front of the box. Here's the back of the box, and you see Kup in robot mode, and then in alt mode or vehicle mode, and then you see the two figures, Leatherneck and Sergeant Slaughter. It's I don't know, pretty standard fare, but I'm a fan of these. Just gotta cut the tape and we'll get into it. It's a shame these aren't sold in stores. Like, you can't walk into one of the big box retailers like Target or Walmart and find these on the shelf. I would really like to see these on the shelves, especially when you look at the spine of the box. Tell me that doesn't scream like old school Toys R Us, where you would just see these stacked all the way to the ceiling.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
But, you know, different times. And then the box just slides apart. So it's got that cool sleeve. Take the sleeve off. Corporate Overlord logo. That logo right there. Somebody gave me a heads up that this might be an Easter egg, but, you know, kind of file card looking images, and it says, "Listen up, maggots. Cobra and the cons," being the Decepticons, "are striking at us harder than ever, but they're gonna think twice after we whip you recruits into shape." Okay, Slaughterbot style. Training starts at 0600. Okay, well, that might be an Easter egg, I don't know. We know that the Mobat Prime is coming, and we know that a Titan size, not Titan class as in named character, but size, is coming. Alright, so we open it up. There's Kup in his robot mode already. Looks like Kup. Has big ass feet. There he is. set Kup aside. So these are part of the vehicle. Set those aside. Retrieve our figures. Can't forget the frickin' Hasbro tissue paper. This is probably his weapons. Yep. Alright, 2 missiles and 2 guns. Here's the instructions. I'm going to save this box and put it up on the wall with the rest of them because I really like this box art. I like the design of it. I like everything about these boxes. I think they did a really good job with them, so I'm going to keep this box. Alright, let's take a better look at Kup. So he's got thigh swivels, good ratcheting knees, good shoulder range of motion. He's got bicep swivel, good elbows, and the hands rotate as well, so that's pretty rad. Give him some guns. Alright. Kup's got some pew-pews. Pew-pew. Head looks good. That looks like Kup. You know, again, with these Transformer G.I. Joe crossovers, it needs to look like a G.I. Joe vehicle in alt mode. It needs to be able to interact with the figures. In robot mode, it can kind of look any way, as long as you get, like, the likeness of the face and a couple other the unifying elements. You know, Kup always had that kind of mint green. They got the mint green, they got the head. It's Kup, right? As long as this thing looks like a Joe vehicle in alt mode, then it'll interact with the figures just fine. Alright, we're gonna set Kup aside. Let's take a look at the figures. So we have Sergeant Slaughter and Leatherneck. I mean, the cards look good, unpunched. Just, you know, there's no real damage to the cards. There's the back of Sergeant Slaughter's card with that box art. It's got that standard 5L or 5 language file card, which really shrinks down their bio. Whatever, I understand it's a cost-cutting measure, but it kind of takes away from what the file cards are by doing all 5 languages at once. It is what it is. So here's Sergeant Slaughter. He does come with a figure stand. You know, glasses are decoed, the whistle. There's his swagger stick. He's got his brown round, or his campaign cover, whatever you want to call it. There's no job description or anything like that. Just says Sergeant Slaughter. Cardstock's kind of thin. Definitely thinner than the Super 7 Reaction Plus O-ring figures that I just got my hands on. But it's pretty thin cardstock. You can see they're warped a little, but whatever. I don't care about that. So yeah, there's Sarge right there. No added points of articulation. Now, Leatherneck, the funny thing is with the classified Leatherneck, somebody said, oh, they can't use people's likenesses anymore. That's still Ron Rudat. That is 100% still Ron Rudat. But anyway, looking at the figure, yeah, I mean, he looks like Leatherneck. You know, he's got his little patch tampoed on there. He's got that frickin' awesome Tom Selleck mustache. He's got his M16A1 with the 203 grenade launcher, 40mm, slung underneath. There's his backpack with his bedroll, which we in Combat Arms call that a puss pad, by the way. Also comes with a figure stand. I like that they're putting this extra piece of plastic under the blister so you can stand the figure vertically to display them. I do like that touch. That's pretty cool. And then there's the back of Leatherneck's card. Again, the 5L, but the exact same card back as Sergeant Slaughter, aside from the file card itself. So yeah, there's the figures, and we're going to put them off to the side. But you know, some good paint decos on these figures. They don't look bad, but they're O-ring figures, so you should kind of know what you're getting with O-ring figures. So now I am going to attempt to transform this guy into his alt mode. I am still sick. I apologize for my voice. But I wanted to do this because people have been asking me to do this. And I wanted to open my toy. Let's be real about it.
Don't ask questions.
But I am sick and sweaty and gross, and I'm sorry. But yeah, really good shoulders on this guy. Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to transform him into alt mode or vehicle mode, whatever you want to call it. And I'll be honest, I am not the greatest with this stuff at all. I'm just not. At least it's got a tow hitch on the back. That's cool. So his ass is a tow hitch. All right, let's try this out. The thing to remember about these is that they have these tabs. These Transformer Joe crossovers always have these tabs, so once you start transforming them, you can just lock them in like that. And once you get all the parts where they need to go, I mean, they'll stay there. See, and then this piece locks up, right? See where it just meets right there? And then it locks. See the tabs? Lock, lock. There we go. And then the arms, tab right there. So that holds all those pieces together. So they're all locked in right there. Locked, locked. This is all locked. So now the whole back end of the vehicle is just locked together. Here, here, under here. So everything's all locked up. I'm just going to work out the front. Alright, so it locks in underside of the track, which you know, they just have rolling wheels on them, but that locks in there. This comes up, locks in, comes up, locks in. You got your rollers. Arms are locked in, so that locks the sides in. And then the tracks lock together here. They lock together front to back. So everything's locked. It all locks up. Nice and pretty. And then we just close those. Bring this up. The beauty of these is that everything locks together. The crappy part is that you lock some parts together and then you have to fight to lock these front parts in when everything else is already locked. So notice how I'm unlocking parts as I'm trying to get the front put together. Alright, locked in. Lock those down. There we go. Missiles go on standard barbells. Nothing fancy there. Side guns. Lock those in. There you go. Triple T. Let's compare it to an original Triple T. Okay, so here we have Transformer G.I. Joe crossover Triple T, and it's cool because this control stick moves. And then here is the original Triple T. So you see there's a lot of new accents on here. It still has the Kilo Delta Papa 3 1586 designation on the side. It faces in, whereas this one faces out. Still has the USA, but a little different. But almost all of the paint apps and the tampos on this, because you know these aren't really stickers, is exactly the same. But you get a few added details, whereas this is just a kind of off gray. These are silver. You know, a couple different accents. But I mean, look at that thing in vehicle mode. It is hard to tell that that is a Transformer compared to the original. It just looks like an updated original. You know, it's a little fatter, a little bit taller, like barely taller at all, but you see the added details on the Kup Triple T versus the original Triple T. All the extra little details that you get from this one, and it turns into a robot. So yeah, there they are. There's the side-by-side. I like it. I like it a lot. You know, if we want to get crazy, we can show his face. I don't know, whatever. But this one's hard to even tell from the rear, because those almost look like part of the suspension. They don't even look like Kup's forearms. They did a really good job with this vehicle. A really, really good job. Oh. Check this out. Boom! So yeah. There you go. I gotta say, I think this one is the best so far. Let's look at it next to the Thunder Wave, or the Soundwave Thunder Machine. So again, I know a certain person likes to say that I've never put my hands on these, but I happen to have the Thunder Wave right here. But they're getting so much better at these vehicles, hiding the robot form. You know, even if you flip over Kup, I mean, look at that. That's barely even noticeable. Now, if you flip over the Thunder Wave, obviously, you can tell that's the torso of Soundwave. You know, beep, beep, beep. But they still do a phenomenal job with these. So there's the Thunder Wave. Here's our Kup Triple T. I mean, look at it. It's not falling apart. Every piece is locked in the way that it should be. Like, that's a solid vehicle. It's 10 times more solid than the original. Because the original Triple T is almost completely hollow. But this thing's got some weight to it. Look at all the stuff underneath it. I'm a big fan of that. I think they did an awesome job. And I can't wait to see more of these. Another cool thing, if you look at the back, just like with the Thunder Wave, where the weapons store inside the door flaps for Zartan and Zorana, the weapons for Sergeant Slaughter and Leatherneck store on the back of the Triple T here. That's pretty freaking... that's awesome. That's so smart that they did that. Alright, we're going to set our vehicle aside. I'll I'll even put the original over here too. Alright, let's pop into these figures. Figure stand. It's got a nice little texture to it. It's kind of cool. Backpack. Rifle. Now look at how bendy this rifle is. I opened the Super 7 Reaction Plus Battle Android Trooper and it did not have bendy stuff like this. Look at how bendy that is. Like I could literally just bend this buttstock right off this rifle. Like that, there's no reason for that. Alright, let's look at Leatherneck himself. All your usual points of articulation, not going to go over that. Really good sculpting, where the pant legs are unbloused. Yeah. Camo looks good. He actually has a head swivel, that's good. The Reaction Plus Battle Android Trooper did not have head swivel. Ooh. They painted the shoulder rivets, which is good. Just like with Sergeant Slaughter, but you still have unpainted screws inside the thighs. It's kind of standard. Yeah, he's a good looking figure. Put on his old Alice pack with his puss pad. Let's see how his rifle fits in the back. Just like that. Even though it's all bendy and gummy, but yeah, that's how it locks in. So it grabs the upper receiver and the M203. It just locks in like that. All right, set him off to the side with his figure stand. Now we're gonna open Sergeant Slaughter, the man himself. Oh, that was almost a perfectly clean pull. Alright. Free him from his blister. There's his figure stand. Swagger stick. Which, if you noticed in the promotion art, they had his swagger stick in his hand upside down. That's a good looking figure. I think he looks great. Good paint apps on him. Camo looks good. He's got nice shine on his sunglasses there, on his aviators. Yeah, he looks good. He feels good too. He feels better than some of the other O-ring offerings in recent years. But he doesn't have that weird waxy fake feel to him. Let's give him the old swagger stick. P.S. Hasbro, that's how a swagger stick goes.
Chad, how insensitive of you.
Okay, that goes down. This goes up. There you go, just like that. Look at that. That is awesome. Oh, and just for the sake of doing it, the swagger stick clips in right there. So there we go. All their weapons can be stored back there, and they can stay stored back there even when he's in robot mode. There you go. They fit perfectly. Sarge just goes right down in there. No problems at all whatsoever. That is a fantastic vehicle. I love my world building toys. I love vehicles and play sets. And this vehicle just adds. It adds to it. It looks so good. And it feels good too. Very high quality. So there it is again. in vehicle mode. There's the original. You can hear how cheap the original sounds. I mean, I love this vehicle. I do. But I mean, let's be real about it. It's hollow. Whereas this one is solid and sturdy. Well, let's take it over to the turntable and check it out. So there you have it. There's a look at the SGT Kup Triple T Transformers G.I. Joe collaborative crossover mashup extraordinaire. Super long name.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
It's a solid vehicle. I really like it. I think it is the best Transformer Joe crossover yet, and I can't wait to see what's coming with the Mobat Prime and future installments in that collaborative series. Wink. I'd like to thank everybody for checking out this video. I'd like to thank all my subscribers and my channel members. If you're not subscribed, why don't you just consider hitting the subscribe button? Maybe click the notification bell so you can get alerted when I put out new content, which I put out a new video every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern. Even if I'm sick with the T virus, I'll still put out a video every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern. Don't forget to come back for the live streams Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'd like to thank all my channel members because, you know, you're the real heroes here. And if you're not a channel member and you'd like to consider supporting the channel further, link for that is in the description below. I give a lot of exclusive content to my channel members, and they help me shape certain things related to what videos I put out. This is not a tank either.
Chad, how insensitive of you.
As always, my friends, leave a comment below and we can talk some transforming Robot Joe and have an awesome day. Let's talk some transforming... Blah.